Welcome back to List of, the channel dedicated to cataloging the strangest parts of human existence. We all know fear, the instinctual, crucial system that keeps us from walking off cliffs or cuddling bears. But a phobia? That's different. A phobia is a specific, overwhelming, and highly irrational fear that is completely disproportionate to the actual danger presented. Most people deal with the classics: fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of spiders, the anxieties that have evolved alongside us. But the human brain is a factory of bizarre specificity. For every fear that saves your life, there are 10 that make opening a can of tennis balls a traumatic event. Today, we dive into the deep, strange waters of the least known anxieties. Get ready, because we are counting down a list of phobias so niche, so bizarre, they will redefine the word irrational. Let's start with one that perfectly encapsulates the cosmic irony of fear itself. 1. Hippopotomonstrosesquippedaliophobia. Say that 5 times fast. Actually, don't, because the word we just spoke, a crushing 35 letters long, is the name for the debilitating fear of long words. A genuine phobia based entirely on the lexical complexity of language. It is a fear where the very word used to define your condition is the trigger for your panic. The only saving grace here is that if you suffer from Hippopotomonstrosesquippedaliophobia, you likely won't see the word written down often. And if you do, well, we sincerely apologize. It is like throwing a bucket of water on someone with hydrophobia. It is just cruel linguistic design. 2. Xanthophobia. Next, we tackle the simplest yet most disruptive fear on our list: Xanthophobia. This is the irrational fear of the color yellow. Just yellow. It sounds simple until you realize how pervasive yellow is. Think about it. School buses, sunflowers, traffic lights, lemons, post-it notes, signs that explicitly say caution. For the xanthophobe, everyday life is a chaotic minefield of intense sunshine and ill-advised paint choices. And imagine trying to enjoy a meal. The humble banana becomes an object of terror. If you're a xanthophobe, please, for your own sake, do not order the scrambled eggs. 3. Genuphobia. Moving on to the body itself, we encounter Genuphobia, the fear of knees. Not just injury to the knees, but the sight of knees. Bare knees, bent knees, even articulated knees on a doll. Experts believe Genuphobia can stem from a traumatic injury or a cultural association, often related to modesty. Whatever the cause, this fear mandates a strict year-round wardrobe of long skirts, slacks, and possibly long trailing robes, even in the height of summer. If you ever find yourself at the beach, shivering under a blanket while everyone else wears shorts, you might be dealing with acute Genuphobia. The human body is a masterpiece, but for some, the hinge joint in the middle of the leg is simply too horrifying to behold. Pogonophobia. In an age where the perfect beard is a status symbol, a carefully groomed declaration of masculinity, Pogonophobia presents a particularly modern social challenge. Pogonophobia is the fear of beards. This goes beyond finding untamed facial hair merely unkempt or itchy. This is a visceral panic associated with the sight or thought of a beard. Any beard, the sheer proliferation of facial hair in modern culture means that the pogonophobe must navigate a world of hipsters, lumberjacks, and historical figures. Attending a Civil War reenactment? Impossible. Watching a movie starring Zach Galifianakis? Absolutely not. And perhaps the most anxiety-inducing question of all, does the fear extend to stubble? We shudder to think. 5. Nomophobia. While many of the phobias on this list are medically recognized and often deeply rooted, nomophobia is a terrifyingly 21st century anxiety. Nomophobia is the fear of being without a mobile phone. The term is strictly defined as no mobile phone phobia. It's the jolt of panic you feel when your phone battery drops below 5%. It's the frantic searching of pockets when you realize you left your device upstairs. For the nomophobe, this isn't just inconvenience, it's a full-blown existential threat, involving symptoms like heart palpitations and acute distress. It's the fear of being disconnected, of missing a crucial message, or, most importantly, of being unable to access their favorite YouTube channel, which we hope is this one. 6. Kyrofelonoidphobia. If you thought the modern world had moved past the terrifying implications of painted faces and oversized shoes, you'd be wrong. Kyrofelonoidphobia is the fear of clowns. While often attributed to traumatic movie watching, specifically naming the terrifying entity Pennywise, this phobia is incredibly common. The term stems from the Latin for trickster. The irrationality comes from the fact that clowns are supposed to be symbols of jovial fun. Instead, their exaggerated non-human faces trigger a primeval response of mistrust and alarm. For the Kyrofelonoidphobe, the simple act of attending a child's birthday party becomes a high-stakes psychological thriller. 7. Anatidaephobia. And finally, we arrive at perhaps the most notoriously bizarre phobia ever documented, largely popularized by cartoonist Gary Larson, Anatidaephobia. Anatidaephobia is the persistent, irrational fear that somewhere, somehow, a duck is watching you. Now, to be clear, this is not a fear of ducks themselves. That would be a simple ornithophobia. This is the paralyzing belief that regardless of where you are or what you are doing, there is a duck somewhere in the world whose sole focus is to watch you. You could be in the middle of the Sahara Desert, hundreds of miles from the nearest body of water. But the Anatidaephobe knows. That duck, he's observing. He's taking notes. It's a fear that turns the concept of surveillance into a feathered, web-footed nightmare. It is the perfect example of how the brain can take a harmless animal and make it the star of a one-person psychological horror film. So, there you have it. Whether you are terrified of long words, the color yellow, or the silent, judgmental gaze of a remote waterfowl, the human mind is endlessly inventive when it comes to finding things to panic about. Phobias remind us that fear, when unchecked, doesn't adhere to logic. It adheres only to the specific, strange wiring of the individual brain. Understanding these bizarre fears isn't just about laughing at the absurdity. It's about appreciating the incredible complexity of the anxieties that shape our lives. Which of these bizarre fears surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed taking this deep dive into the strange corners of psychology, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to List Of for more bizarre lists, strange facts, and fascinating deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next list.